another exercise that was shown was lying on a bench with hand weights in your arms and doing this. So what would that be? Adduction at what joint? Shoulder joint, and what muscles can we work? Yeah, or pectoralis apparently. Yeah, we looked that one up. It is apparently pectoralis. So here's an easy one. You're just sitting there. I want you to lift your toes to the ceiling. What's that action? Dorsiflexion, and what's the muscle that's being worked there? Dorsiflexion, tibialis anterior, little muscle up the shin, yes. Let's do another one here. We had this one with the band, so holding the band in one hand and bringing the arm down behind like that. What's that action? Adduction at the shoulder, and what's the muscle being used there? Latissimus dorsi. So it's like a one-arm lat pull, yes? Two-arm lat pull you would do in a gym is kind of like this, yeah?
And I guess that was moving it to the midline, but it starts at the midline. So is it if it's...
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it is still toward the midline. So if I was here and pulled it in, it's toward the midline if I'm here. I think it's based on anatomical position. So you're moving more, yeah, to the midline. This is away from the midline. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree that it is. Shoulder movements are particularly confusing. And just because the shoulder does so many things, it's a very mobile joint. So another one was to put the feet on a ball, and I don't have a ball to demo this, but if I had a ball up here, so what I'm doing, I hike my hips up and I'm pulling in here at the knee. So the action's at the knee. What am I working there?
Hamstring group?
Hamstring group, and what's the action? So go from here, flexion, flexion at the knee. Oh, sorry, so that's hamstring group. So that was another muscle action. Then we had one with the gliders. So the action there was to start with the foot out. To start with the foot wide on a glider, and then to drag it in. What is that action? Adduction. Adduction at the hip. And what's the muscle group? Adductor. Adductor group. Yeah, so that's adduction at the hip, adductor group. And we had one that I won't do because that was bad. And then we had just a good old crunch. So just an abdominal crunch. So lying here. So I'm going from a straight spine to curved spine. So what's that?
Rectus abdominis.
Rectus abdominis.
Flexion?
The action is
Flexion?
Flexion. Yeah, flexion of the vertebral column, or flexion of the spine. And then we had the one where you're kneeling and I'm up here doing this action. So what's that? So it's the starting position, finishing position.
Hyperextension at hip.
This would be hyperextension there. So if I just take it to here, it's just
Extension of the
extension at
quadriceps.
the hip, and what muscles being worked?
Gluteus maximus.
Gluteus maximus. Yeah. Good. Does everybody know these besides Sushita? Sushita. You guys okay with this? Let's take turns answering me because see if everybody else knows.
How can you tell if it's the gluteus medius?
Gluteus medius does this action.
So more to the side.
Yeah, because that muscle's on the hip. Gluteus medius, tensor fasciae latae. So what's this action to the side? Abduction at the hip. That's good meat. Yeah. Behind is gluteus maximus. If I rotate my foot out of it and do that, I'm going to engage the gluteus medius. But heel, leading with the heel is going to be gluteus maximus. How about just standing on your toes? Standing on your tiptoes. We did that one in class, I think. What's that? Starting position down, coming up. Somebody besides Yoshida. Plantar flexion at the ankle. Yeah, plantar flexion at the ankle. What muscles being worked? Yes, gastrocnemius. And what's the other one? Soleus. Soleus and gastrocnemius. Yeah.
So, sorry, I just have to double check. You wouldn't have to know the antagonist?
Well, so what would be the antagonist to that muscle?
I'm still learning them.
So it's going to be the anterior tibialis, right? So the one on the front of the shin is dorsiflexion, pointing is back of the leg. They're usually the opposite muscles.
Just usually on the opposite
Yeah.
side.
Yeah, so biceps, triceps, quads.
Yeah, those ones are
hamstrings,
easy, but like
hamstrings.
some of the other ones I don't always remember.
Yeah, I think if I pick one to do antagonist, it would be an easy one.
Okay.
So another exercise was to grab a piece of the band and do this action. What's that? Extension of the elbow, and what muscle is working there?
Tricep.
Triceps brachii, yeah. Or brachii. Remember how to
How
pronounce
do I
it.
feel my bicep? Not my tricep.
So if you start here,
Yeah.
it's triceps.
Antagonist.
But to return it here is biceps.
When I go like this, I feel my bicep.
Your biceps is stretching.
Okay.
Stretching, but it's not shortening. Right? So if you do this, feel that biceps is shortening.
Yeah.
That's contracted.
Okay.
Here, it's triceps.
Okay.
Does that make sense? But you're right, in that, there, the resistance is with the triceps, and then to come back, you're gonna be biceps. So the other one was to put the band under the feet and do this. What's that then? Biceps brachii, and the action is flexion of the elbow. So reducing the angle at that joint, flexion of the elbow, biceps brachii. And then to get back to the beginning position, it's gonna be triceps.
But if you added a weight and did it slowly, would it still be exercising?
Absolutely, yeah, so, okay, so the up part is concentric.
Oh, right.
This is eccentric, so as the muscle lengthens and you load it, yeah, absolutely, you're still working the muscle, yeah.
Okay.
And in fact, as it lengthens and you load it, you're getting even more, you're working the muscle a little harder, yeah, shred,
Okay. Oh, right.
shred. Depends on how much weight you have. Oh, easy one, here's starting position, finishing position. Abduction at the shoulder, deltoid muscle. What nerve innervates the deltoid muscle? Axillary nerve, yeah, axillary nerve innervates the deltoid muscle. And then we had just this one, some weights in the hands and doing this. Elevation of the scapulae. Yeah, it's elevation of the scapulae. All you're doing is moving the scapula up. And what muscle does that? Trapezius. Yeah, trapezius. And trapezius also does depression of the scapulae because it's shaped like a trapezoid. The down fibers pull the scapula down, the up fibers pull it up. The ones in the middle do a little bit of adduction. So, let's see, that takes us up to end. And then the other one was just getting out of the chair with one leg. Do you remember that one? Yeah, so that's extension at the knee. So you're basically this one, but you're starting in this position and then you're extending at the knee. So what muscle are you using to extend at the knee?
Quadriceps?
Quadriceps, yeah, that's a quadriceps. So this is also extension at the knee, quadriceps, right? To do that. So that is your quadriceps group. Which of the quadriceps muscles is on the outside that is an injection site, intramuscular injection? Vastus lateralis. Yeah, you should know that one. Nursing has requested. This one, the exercise is lying on the side like this and doing this action. What's that?
Adduction.
Abduction at the hip. What muscle?
Gluteus medius.
Gluteus medius and the TFL, yeah, tensor fasciae latae. What's the big tendon that's a common insertion for some of the glute muscles? Runs down the side of the leg, crosses the knee joint. Big white band.
Oh.
Ilio. Does that ring a bell? Iliotibial band, yeah. I'm not ready now, some kind of word mark here. Oh, it's orange. So the iliotibial band. A big tendon. And
You said injections?
injection site for intramuscular injections is one of the four quadriceps muscles. And what was that? Vastus lateralis. Yeah, the vastus lateralis.
But is that just for nursing knowledge?
Well, we asked nursing, are there any muscles you specifically need to know? And this was one they mentioned. Yeah, other than the ones that we were doing. Yeah, deltoid also intramuscular injection, yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
only individual muscle within the quadriceps
Within
group
the
you'd have to
quadriceps
know.
group, yeah. I mean, personally, I think it would be a good idea to know them all, but we're only testing that one in the quadriceps group. It seems kind of weird, but there you go. So this one was, we didn't do that one, so that's okay. I'm going to minimize that picture there. So that's okay. I think that's it. Those are all the images we did, the exercise images.
So for the main muscle for leg abduction, is that plantar fasciolate or can you speak?
It's going to depend how the foot is oriented, whether you turn the ankle in a little or turn it out. If you turn your toe out a little like this, that's going to be mainly TFL.
Oh.
If you lead a little more with the heel or just straight out to the side, it's going to be more gluteus medius. Yeah, so I think they're both good. Yeah, it's good. It's good.